So I'm gonna talk about the Man of Steel movie and why it sucks. Yes, it's a visually stunning movie with some of the coolest fight scenes you will ever see, but the plot and characters are so stupid that it will ruin the rest of the movie for you. Doesn't matter how pretty it is, it's too dumb to like.
Spoiler alert!
1. Planet Krypton is about to blow up in a couple of hours. These bad guys are sentenced to punishment. What is their punishment? To be taken off the planet to safety while everyone else dies. Now, I know that things are different in Krypton than they are on Earth, but the concept of punishment shouldn't be
the greatest gift ever!
What kind of f***ing punishment is that? I know that you did bad, so here's a ship that will take you away to safety that can also let you explore other planets and find new life. Great punishment. Am I the only one that will leave their bitch asses on the planet and use a spaceship myself to get off the planets? 2. Let's send 12 war generals into punishment and 1 scientist dude. Bingo! What the hell did the scientist do? Ain't the scientist like, I have nothing to do with this, I'm just a scientist? And then he got froze. 3. Superman watches his Earth Daddy die. Earth Daddy went off to save a puppy. Hey, why don't you use your indestructible son to go out and do that instead? He could have just freed that dog, got into the car, and when the tornado hit him, he'd be found miraculously afterwards without a scratch. Sure, you might say it's because his dad didn't want Superman to raise any suspicion about his powers. So then, a few years later, Superman saves an oil tanker by ripping off the steel door in front of a bunch of guys while his body is on f***ing fire. Way to blow your cover, and congrats on letting your daddy die in vain. You wouldn't save your dad so you could remain anonymous, and then a few years later, you risk it all anyways? Your priorities suck. 4. Lois was interested in getting the story, so she climbed that goddamn dangerous as hell glacier with barely any footholds. What the f? I like my job, but I don't like it that much. How did she not fall and die? Climbing ice is not that easy, and I would not risk my life for some damn pictures. 5. Lois gets a laser to the groin by the space security thingy, and then Superman comes in and says, "You're hemorrhaging. I'm going to have to cauterize the wound." First off, ain't he a farm boy from Kansas? Who taught him this shit? Secondly, I'm pretty sure that if you're hemorrhaging from being lasered in the groin, cauterizing it isn't really gonna be enough to save you. You're still bleeding internally. Whatever. 6. Superman gets a super cape that a super dad prepared for him. Question, how did super dad know his son's dimensions? What if his son grew up to be shorter and fatter? Great job at being a super assuming jerk. And for that note, how the hell does Superman shave after putting on his cape? There's no Gillette Mach 3 razor strong enough to cut through his beard, or did super dad assume that his son would be a slovenly ass and prepared a razor for him there as well? Son, you should don this costume, but shave because you look like a hillbilly. Ain't nobody gonna take you seriously if you look like a hillbilly. 7. The whole inclusion of Lois in General Zoidberg's ship was stupid. Why would Superman agree to let Lois on the bad guy spaceship to begin with? The deal was to bring him on board, not her. Fine, maybe he felt scared so he brought her there, but why did General Zebra Pants want her there anyways? He got some info from her brain and then he just let her without anybody watching her? Did they provide her with a tour guide as well? And to your left, lady, you will see a control panel. Excuse me, I need to make massive diarrhea for the next half hour. I trust that you won't fiddle with anything, correct? Wrong. 8. Then the bad guy starts to plan to take over the Earth, but what the f for? You just showed up there like a day ago. Why didn't you try something more civil? Hey, Superman, I see you grew up here just fine. Maybe we could do the same. You came here as a baby and grew up to be a pretty decent guy. I can safely assume that all the babies we grow from graves can be well adjusted as you. Ah, f it. I know that living here is gonna be hard, not through any logical reason, but just because I'm a giant asshole. 9. And why recreate a planet Krypton out of the planet to begin with? Don't you see how well you've adapted to it right away? You're all super strong and super fast. Why ruin a good thing? You can shoot goddamn lasers from your eyes, but you want to make it into Krypton and lose your eye laser ability?
That's stupid!
10. How did Superman know that crashing his baby ship into their big boy ship would cause a black hole that would conveniently zap all the bad guys away? Apart from how ridiculously convenient that all was so that everything neatly zaps away, how about the fact that Superman is a farm boy from Kansas? I didn't know that they teach that in schools in America. Or did he learn that in the same school that taught him how to cauterize hemorrhages with eye lasers? 11. On that note, why the hell is Lois Lane in all of these missions? I know that you're a reporter, so then you must be trained to be on this plane with us. And don't act like her role was important either. She put in a f***ing key. Put the pentagon-shaped thingy into the pentagon-shaped hole. You don't need to be a journalist to be smart enough to do that. You need to be a toddler. 12. In that final showdown between General Zemo and Superman, the General goes on this long monologue about his duty. My duty is to make the best decisions to save Krypton, which, if you haven't noticed thus far, suck and have resulted in the death of my crew. Anywho, to doodle poodle, my only purpose in life is to ensure the safety of Krypton's race. Now that you are the last surviving Kryptonian and you have the entire code of the future of our species in your body, which we can use in other ways to flourish as a species, you must die. Because if you couldn't tell by now, this movie is stupid. 13. Seriously, what kind of aim did Superman and General Bag have? You fly from the space, you hit a satellite, and then you fly back into Earth exactly where you were before? You know, there's a whole shitload of other countries and cities that you could land on. 14. How the hell does Lois get from the ruins of the Daily Planet, where Superman starts his final showdown with General Face, and they get all the way to kiss Superman to the final showdown and see him there? Did she get a taxi or something? Oh no, there are no taxis because they all got
Gravity crushed.
or did she just run there? How did she even see where they ended up? Yes, that's it. The movie sucked. It is stupid. Peace out, homies.